pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop.
How are you two doing today?
We're actually doing great. It was an amazing season, amazing episode. We have no regrets. And I mean, we wish we could have lasted a little bit longer, but it was awesome.
I mean, you know I love you too. And I will say, I underestimated you before the season started, and I made a very big mistake very quickly because you two did everything really, really well. So, how surprised were you when the U-turn votes came?
Yeah, well, yes and no. So we were kind of surprised that we got some votes for us. The one that surprised us the most was Nick and Mike. We just thought we were more friends with them and they wouldn't like do that to us type of a thing. So we were our feelings were a little bit hurt with him voting for or them voting for us. And then when Mark kind of added in why he voted for us, if that he felt like we were not authentic and we're not really this nice. That's when I was like, whoa. Okay, now the gameplay is like on hold. Like that is absolutely not true. And so that's where I kind of got a little feisty and I'm like, well, like, I don't like drama. I don't like confrontation like that, especially when it's so inaccurate and wrong. And there was no like talking with him about it. And so I'm like, I'm not friends with people like that. I'm like, I'm not going to be friends with you if, that's your attitude type of a thing. And I really never gave him any more attention. I was just looking at Phil as he kept talking. So I wasn't surprised that he voted for us. I was just surprised of his kind of rude, negative comments, which it's fine that he felt that way and thought that way. And since then we're fine and we're friends. I know everyone's like, are you friends with everybody? Like, what is it now? And I'm like, we are all kumbaya. It was in the past. Like, it's a game. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I think for us, like Lori, when we broke off and we're talking about our vote, Lori had this feeling. She's like, in my gut, something's not right. And I kept telling her, I'm like, no, we're fine. Everyone loves us. Like, why would anybody vote for us? And I think at that point, exactly. And you can see my surprise in the moment where I was like, I feel like I'm this dad of all these other teams because that's the role I kind of felt like we were in because we genuinely connected with people. And when they're voting against you, it feels weird and bizarre, like they're against you.
Right.
And what you forget is this is a game and there's recognized threat level there. And that's the reason they're taking advantage of an opportunity to vote out a threat. And I just couldn't compartmentalize that in my mind at that moment. Like for the first time in the whole race, I was speechless. I didn't have anything to say. Yeah. It was weird.
Is this from screaming at the TV last night?
I have a cold.
No, he's sick. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Not a good week for Scott. I'm really sorry.
No.
So what happened to get you guys out of the race in the first place? Were you both fans? Is it something you watched with the kids?
So we've been watching day one, episode 1, season 1. We've watched every single
live,
on the couch live. So we always wanted to do it. Having 8 kids, I was pregnant and nursing for 15 years straight. And so I really couldn't do anything like that. Now our family motto, one of our family mottos is we do hard things. And so I kind of focused on myself, like as a mom of these boys, like how can I prove to my husband, to myself, to these boys, and even to other moms out there, like, what can I do that's totally out of my element? And at first that was Survivor for me. So I auditioned for Survivor the 6 different times. I kind of went through the process and knowing if I ever got on that would be our hook to get on The Amazing Race. And just like, year after year, not getting anywhere, I'm like, let's just do it because it's something we've always wanted to do. And I'm like, let's make our audition tape. And Scott's like, okay. And I'm like, no, like today, right now, like, let's go in the car and do it. And he's like, well, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to practice? I'm like, nope, we're just doing it. We're talking about our 8 kids, our weight loss, and our dynamic. And that's it. And so we did. We made a 10-minute video. We had to pare it down to 4 minutes. And Alex called us a month or so later. And here we are.
And you didn't even need to starve on a beach for 39 days. To make
I know, right?
I know. I had a bed and I had food. It's so much better.
Much better. Speaking of, how did you? It seems that you guys lost a combined like 200 pounds or something obscene like that. How'd you guys do that?
So it was a few years ago. I was taking the Manjaro shots. And so I did that for 9 months. Scott did it a little bit longer. I had lost 70 pounds. Scott lost almost 100 pounds.
Amazing.
And so having that a couple of years ago really helped because
it changed our lifestyle too.
it changed our lifestyle of how we ate, but also like physically. Like we would be physical and stuff with our children. We'd go on hikes and do stuff. We just weren't as much as we are now. Like I didn't go to the gym until I had lost 50 pounds. And then I started lifting weights and I'm like, wow, my body is changing just by lifting these weights. And so it was just became this mindset change. And so we had lost the weight and we're working out and being active or more active like a couple of years before even applying for the Amazing Race. So it wasn't our number one reason, but we didn't audition for the Amazing Race being heavy because I knew like we needed to get in better shape to do it. So that's why timing wise, it was perfect for us to like apply being like almost in the best condition of our lives. Yeah.
What did you find to be the hardest part of being on the race? Was it the physicality of it? Was it the dynamics with the teams? Was it, I mean, everyone I know, including myself, says it is way harder than it looks on television.
Yeah.
So what was the thing for you that you guys found to be the most difficult part?
Well, I think, I mean, you're in that tunnel vision, that race vision, right? Where you're focused on the task and you're just go, 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 go. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that in those moments, you miss a lot of what people at home are catching when they're watching the TV and yelling at you like, you guys are so stupid, you guys are so dumb. But what was reaffirming for us was realizing that 26 years of experience in marriage going into this, we knew our communication styles. We knew what strengths we brought to the table for each of us. We were able to, I think, be more decisive in those moments about who was doing what roadblock, which detour catered to our strengths better than other ones, and decisively making those decisions because we knew in the challenges is where we were going to build up that buffer that would serve us to the bad taxi ride that we might have or the foot race we might lose to another person. And so that's where we realized that our strength was going to come to the table. We just didn't expect it to be as helpful as it was early on to us rising to the top.
Right.
Like that was kind of a nice, pleasant,
surprise. We were surprised. There's two things that I was worried about was, sorry.
Said it must be nice to do it with someone you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I cannot even just the fact of being in the hotel room sequestered with someone you don't know or like
different hotel rooms.
Okay. I was wondering about that because I was
alone. Very alone.
I was like, Scott, I need a minute, my friend. Like I would look out the window and I'm like, give me a minute. And I'm like, and I love this guy. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, that's interesting.
But you did have
love came through very, very clearly. The way that you cheered for each other and the way that you just built each other up was so wonderful. To hear you say you sort of had some idea who was going to do what roadblock because you knew each other's traits beforehand. I've got a roadblock for you. Can you, in 5 seconds or less, name all 8 of your sons?
Will, Jackson, Tyler, Gavin, Brigham, Nathan, President, Robbie.
Okay, can you in 1 second? Or that's impressive. Oh my
God.
God.
Can I do it in a different order? No.
So that's just oldest.
It has to be the 8, like seriously, birthdays when I'm like, when is Nathan's birthday? Hang on, it's like I have to go through. I can't go randomly because that doesn't make sense in my brain.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Speaking of roadblocks, how did it feel when you got to the Rice and you saw that you had to do a lot more than some of the other people? Was this, because you went in there and you nailed it. I think you were faster than everybody. And so was it just the fuel of that anger that drove you? Or did you realize at that point, everyone really thinks that we're a threat and we might be in trouble down the line?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Jonathan and Anna gave it that much because we had a little connection of being, spouse with spouse, and we just had this bonding, especially Anna and I with being moms. And so I was kind of surprised, but really it didn't matter if I had 15 or 50. Like I would have gone just as hard, just as quick, just as strong to get the heck out of there as quickly as I possibly could. So my strategy was hitting the Rice as fast and hard as I could and flipping it, doing the same thing and doing as much as I could until I could hear other teams getting there and then checking to see whereabout I was, knowing I had a ton of rice left in my little bucket thing. I would have just done it. I think that was with all the challenges, regardless of what they were, we gave it our all. If we were in last place or first place, we just tried to hone in our skills and do it as quickly and fast as humanly possible.
Yeah. And I think that too, we thought going into the driver's seat, you're looking at opportunities to build relationships out of that as opposed to handicapping people. So rather than just automatically handicapping the teams that are right behind you, I thought the strategy was try to push forward those teams that you felt you had a connection with that might be able to carry you through later on in the race. And so we had a much different strategy with how we were going to go into that than what they did. And so it just surprised us. But again, I think that was us projecting our constructs of the game on other people. And so when that doesn't play out the way you think it should, you're like, this makes no sense to me.
But I do get it. Like the two teams right behind you, like we would have given 25 to Anna and Jonathan regardless of where they were
because we wanted to burn the express pass.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry. What was that? Oh, so just because you said earlier about race blinders and this is how you get very tunnel vision. Watching it back last night, there was a moment where I believe it was Carson and Jack said to you guys, pay attention to the coral. Yeah. And did you hear that when it happened, or was that something that just flew right over?
Oh no, we knew because when we saw them, we were like, you guys got this. We knew they had just finished. We were like, go and win this. We love you guys. And they were like, pay attention to the color of the coral. And we're like, thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking 5 seconds and just giving race. A moment of you're finishing and running to almost win first place or possibly winning first place in this leg and giving us that little nugget that was so kind and genuine. And that's another reason why we absolutely love them and appreciate that, which when we got to the coral, we knew the color. So when we were taking it out of the water, we were clumping them in the right groups
based on color and texture. But
because it took us a little bit longer, the colors, the coral dried and they changed color slightly. And so we had one piece of coral off over and over and over and over again. And then we realized, let's get it wet. And we're like, there it is. Like it was so obvious. And then we changed it and we were able to pass that.
Interesting. Okay. So the last thing I want to ask you guys is there any, I know you're doing probably a ton of interviews, which for Scott, sorry, your voice is probably going to be dead at the end.
It's holding up.
You're doing great. So is there any one thing that nobody else has asked you or that you just want to put out there, or you want everyone who's listening to know about Scott and Lori that either the edit didn't show or you just feel hasn't properly been seen that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I think for me, and it came out in our watch party last night, I think that there's so much more out there that connects us as people than divides us. And I feel like if we can look for those connections with people and don't look at it as why are they trying to make this connection? What's the agenda here? Look at it, give them the grace of thinking that they're trying to make those connections. I think there's far more things that can connect us as people than what we give it benefit of the doubt. And I think that's one of the things that frustrated us was we looked at our connections with these other racers as authentically what it was. And when it felt like race took over and it felt like they were judging our gameplay by these authentic actions that we were taking to connect with people, that's when it felt discordant and didn't resonate with us anymore, and when we didn't want to be friends with anybody anymore because it was like, this isn't what we came into the race to accomplish. Like, we weren't racing for $1 million. That would have been nice. It was more about like making these connections with people, and I think that's what the fans seem to love about us too, is like they feel like they've connected, and I think that's what's so nice.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's more of the, like, I am the biggest cheerleader. Like, Scott is my biggest cheerleader. That's why he's yelling and screaming for me.
Excellent cheerleaders.
Regardless if there's a camera crew or we're on the race, like, no matter what I'm doing, that is legit him 100% of the time, screaming and yelling and supporting me if I suck at it or if I'm amazing at it. And it's that mentality of the abundance mentality that I am truly was cheering every single team on. I kind of wish they showed that a little bit more, especially at the drumming. They would come off devastated, and I was like, you got this, come on now, focus, relax, just have fun. Like, I genuinely wanted everyone to play their best possible game and best person win. Like, I just wanted everyone to do well and to have a good experience and to have fun. And like the abundance mentality, like, everyone, it doesn't take away from me if you win that leg. Like, good for you. Like, I am genuinely happy and supportive of you and wish that was the same for us. But
it's funny. I do think that came across. I personally think someone who wasn't there and watched it. I think it's probably a little bit the natural mom in you being like, you've still got this. It's good. Yes. But the fact that you and Anna just hugged last night and you took a second, they took a second, you took a second, and just there was that connection even after the Rice situation and the like the horrible day that you both had being U-turned. I like that they showed those human moments. So I think
it was,
from an audience
they came in
perspective,
from the surfing and I knew for sure we were gone.
Yeah.
And I genuinely gave them my support and love. And I'm like,
say good luck.
Good luck. You know, I wish you guys the best. And I hugged them both and they off on their way. And I honestly feel like I would have done that in any position, first or last or anything. Like that's just genuinely us. Like that's authentically us.
Sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. It was good.
Okay. I think that we probably have not seen the last of Scott and Lori. I think that's probably my guess if I had to guess. I don't even have to ask if you would do it again. It sounds like your bag is packed.
100%.
Yes.
But,
100%.
Right now, today.
Well, they're filming another season, but
I know. And we can't be part of the Big Brother seasons.
Not yet. It sounds like you'll go on all the shows and just to get yourself
maybe
back
we'll
on
see.
here. But I look forward very much to getting to meet you in a few weeks and celebrating at the finale. You have been an absolute joy to watch. I think from a viewer's perspective, your support, your love, your actual genuine connections definitely came through. So thank you for gracing our screens with your presence. I look forward to staying connected with you guys in the future and celebrating in a few weeks. So thank you. And
thank you, Brooke. Appreciate you.
Scott and Lori. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.